Let us talk about RC2, which seems to be a difficult RC passage in the sense that the genre is political philosophy, but the language is slightly on the tougher side. So this should not have ideally been the first RC that you attempt in case you're not extremely comfortable with such RCs. Now, here we talk about two authors, basically two critiques in a way, Amin and Said. Primarily, we focus on Amin's work. Amin has tried to explore that what were the reasons behind European imperialism from a from the perspective of what was happening within Europe, the ideology of Europe. So it's more of an internal sort of an analysis where he talks about how European capitalism was in a way flawed and it actually justified this global predation of capital. So it looks at it from an internal perspective, while Said's view is a what we call a post-colonialist view, which looks at how European imperialism emerged because of the European prejudice towards the non-Western people, those racist views that they held. So both of them analyze them from different angles. We focus more on Amin's angle in this RC passage, right? So this is what the RC is about, and the language, as I said, can be challenging at places, so you really needed to understand it. However, the questions, in case you've understood even the basic points of the RC, the questions are not very challenging. Let's have a look. Question 5. Based on the information in the passage, Amin and Said may disagree with each other on which of the following points. Now, Amin, it has been stated in the RC passage, was a neo-Marxist. So his view is a Marxist view, and he actually looks at European imperialism from a Eurocentric angle. This is what is stated in the RC. Said's view, on the other hand, is a post-colonial, it takes a post-colonial approach. Right. So while Amin is more focused on what was wrong with the ideology of Europe, such as European capitalism, such as European notion of cultural unity, Said is more focused on their prejudice towards the non-Western races. So let's have a look as to what they will disagree on. Said was more concerned with attitudes and cultures. This is true. Said was indeed concerned with uh, attitudes of the Europeans towards the non-Europeans, their cultures, the cultural differences between that of Europeans and non-Europeans again. While Amin was more interested in Eurocentrism, something that I've already stated, as a polarizing and ideological global project. This exact sentence is mentioned in the RC passage. So, so we'll start from here. Indeed, Said and Amin in many ways represent the contrast between post-colonial and Marxist views. Said is post-colonial, Amin holds a Marxist view of imperialism in the social sciences. Both are trying to look at imperialism only. One's view is post-colonial, so his view is Orientalist in nature. The other's view is Marxist, so it is more Eurocentric in nature. Okay, Amin, a neo-Marxist, was less interested in attitudes and culture, which preoccupy post-colonialists. So, of course, that means they're going to preoccupy Said, and more interested in Eurocentrism as a polarizing and ideological global project. So, he was more interested in Eurocentrism as a polarizing project, which polarizes people, divides people, an ideological project that reinforced imperialism and systemic inequalities by legitimizing a global system that seized resources, expropriated resources, and exploited people in the global south. So we have just read the exact same sentence, that is our option A, that Amin was less interested in attitudes and culture, which must have preoccupied Said, and he was more interested in Eurocentrism as a polarizing and ideological global project. Because this is given and this is what option A says, it's quite likely that A is the answer. Absolutely, A is the answer. Let's have a look at the other options as well. Said has had a Marxist interpretation while Amin had a post-colonial. Wrong, wrong. This inverts. Said was actually post-colonial, Amin was Marxist. Amin pointed out the flaws of the European capitalist system, while Said was more interested in how cultural portrayals of the non-Western, the cultural portrayals of the non-Western are racist, not the Western. This is again clearly stated in the RC. So, wrong. This is interchanged, again wrong. Amin was not a neo, okay, sorry. Amin was a neo-Marxist, but Said was not a neo-capitalist. Said was a post-colonialist. So all the other options can be clearly called false as per the RC. That is what made it an easy question. This was exactly stated. These were false. So easy, but I'll still call it easy to moderate because the reading of the passage was challenging.